Good evening, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Wednesday, May 16th, sorry. And I just want to say, first things first, I'm going to get it out there. I think tomorrow, I think Friday, I think for the next couple of days, we're going to be looking for a bounce in the market. Look at all the names that have been beaten down, and basically what it probably is we'd be playing for a short-term bounce, and you'd be looking for names or underlyings that have been basically beaten down or have held sturdy throughout this market correction here. Now, the reason why I'm looking for a bounce is, one, we successfully, I'm going to show you on a 2-hour chart, we successfully retested the Globex lows from Wednesday. So here we are Wednesday. We come as low as say 1320. Where do we get to today? 1320. So from that, we've now bounced twice off those levels. Now we're looking for a bounce higher. On top of that, this is less than 10 points from the point of control range. So we're getting to levels that you have to be itching to be a buyer. And I think that is the case. And I think it's good for a reasonable bounce back up towards the 1365 level. So let me just show you really quick. The Dow, similarly, sure, it broke new lows today, but I'm looking for the same thing, an oversold bounce. NASDAQ, oversold bounce. This is what I'm looking for. The dollar, let's start to formulate this now. The dollar, last time it was at this level, was it right to be a buyer or seller? It was right to be a seller. So what do you expect? You should expect some selling pressure. I'm not saying that the dollar is done going up. What I'm saying is, short term, for you short-term swing traders, you're looking for an opportunity to the long side here. Look at gold. What has gold done every time it's gotten down to these levels? And I'm talking specifically 1535 or so. It's bounced. What are we doing right now overnight? After a huge selling day, maybe a climax selling day, you look for some type of bounce. We got as low today as 1526.70. So look for a bounce back up towards 1585 or so. That could happen in between today and Thursday and Friday, or that could happen over a week's time. The point is, you look for it to happen, and you kind of follow along with it. So that's just how I'm taking it. Similarly, silver. You look for a short-term bounce here, back up to some type of, basically where it broke down. $30, sure. Just look for a bounce. And once you see the first sign of trouble, get out. But on silver, I'd be looking for $30. On gold, just to be specific, gold could get back above 1600. But for now, I would keep 1600 as your ceiling on gold. And if it continues higher, then you continue to ride that trade higher. Pepsi continues to break out. This is a really nice move right here. I don't think you want to sell. I think it's basically a laggard for what Coke did a couple of months ago. So here's Pepsi. Basically, generally speaking, this is what Pepsi's doing now, and this is where it's probably going to be in the future. So I don't think there's any reason to sell into this strength, take profits into this strength. At least look for a test of the 52-week highs, which is around basically between 71 and 72. Intel breaking lower. Well, if it loads. Okay. Breaking lower. You need to be careful. We are at basically the last line of support, in my opinion, 2640. You can see the huge volume, and then here, let me zoom in so you can see it. You see the huge volume, and then from there, it takes a, I guess you could say it falls off a cliff. So look for a bounce tomorrow and kind of go from there. But I was kind of looking for a bounce earlier at higher levels. We didn't get it, so just look for it. Johnson & Johnson, I think this is something that you want to be buying here. Just being aware of that. McDonald's, this actually wasn't on the list that I was going to show you, but it is, just like everything, probably going to give you an oversold bounce. This could be one that you could just tuck away in your portfolio. Merck, let me get rid of these drawings. You would put your stop below, let's see, Tuesday's intraday low, 37.58, so call it 37.48, and you see if this breaks out. If you just ignore everything and just look at the extremes, 39.45 and 37.55, we're at the bottom of the range. Sure, we've gone from the exact top of the range straight down to the bottom of the range, but look at the volume recently. We have had 2 nice buying days in a row, so just be aware that this could just be a consolidation before the next leg higher. Pfizer, actually a nice day today. Nice reversal off the 50-day moving average. You want to be a buyer here. Buy this. Your stop below, just below 22 in my opinion. Procter & Gamble, though we saw some selling pressure up towards this 64.75 level, I think this is one that's going to try to close this gap, push up towards 66 or so. Let it do that and take your profits up there. But for now, I think this is okay to hold. Travelers, just to show it kind of breaking down here. If it doesn't bounce tomorrow, even if it does, maybe this is something you want to take profits into strength. IBM, look for a bounce here. Nice volume day today. The bulls stopped the bears in their tracks. You can either have your stop below this recent range, or you can have it below the low of the 23rd. In my opinion, you do want to keep a stop, but you'd be looking at the top of the channel for a potential trade. $8 on a $200 stock, slow mover. You know, it's not too bad. It's getting a base hit. Berkshire, off the 50-day moving average, maybe another higher low. Huge volume here. I think you continue to accumulate Berkshire. This is a good one, especially you like the fact that oil prices have been coming down. That should do nothing but help. Speaking of oil prices, value very low. This is a buy here, off of, you know, pretty big swing low from last December. You'd be looking for a move into the mid to high 90s. I guess while we're on the page, euro down at these lows. Let me just show you. High volume area, the bottom of it, the lows today. Oh, what a coincidence. Right off of it. You define your risk, you place your stop under these lows, and you look for a move back to the upside. If this is something that you want to play. Your target would be right around 129 or so. So a decent move to the upside is there. Google, I said last night, you look for a breakout. Guess what? We got our breakout on huge volume. You should have been buying. And keep enjoying this ride higher. It's going to go higher. If you look at it kind of on a longer term scale, well, I guess you can look at it 2 ways. But the point is, you have 200-day moving average starting to slope up. You have point of control right in this range. You have some lower highs, but I suspect it to be this is like a triangle forming. So let me try this again. 200-day moving average, point of control. You have a little triangle forming. Look for a breakout. And Google is probably something that you want to have in your portfolio. Medtronic, I don't know much about the fundamentals, but if we start to break above these levels here, say 39, you can, in my opinion, start scaling into this. It's not really breaking down despite the fact that the market is. Therefore, when the market starts to catch a bid, this is something that could work out. So just be careful, because we have excuse me, we have seen lower highs and basically lower lows, but the relative strength recently, if we see some type of maybe, well, I guess earnings comes out the 22nd. Sorry for not paying attention to that. So be aware of that, but you could have a nice move. If you wanted to play it, maybe buy a call spread. You know, I guess you'd say you'd be flipping a coin going into earnings, but buying a 38 by 40 call spread, something like that, maybe something that works out for you. I'd be waiting for the day before earnings, though. ExxonMobil, I'd be looking for a bounce here. Basically, a double bottom, 200-day moving average. You'd be looking for a move back into the mid 80s, but I like this. And so overall, I think the market's going to give you a bounce here, whether it's just short covering from people who have been short throughout the week that are trying to cover because they don't want to be short going into the weekend, or whatever. Regardless, it doesn't matter if the market goes up, you can profit from it. Take advantage of it. Do your homework, pick out what you want to be long, and kind of go from there. If I had to say, you know, right here, right now, I would say you want to be long S&Ps, you want to be long oil for a bounce, Google definitely, Berkshire, Pfizer, Pepsi, gold, I think are all good for a decent bounce. Definitely a tradable one, should be profitable. So take care, have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.